Thank you very much. I will do this in English, but what I pick up is how you underline on the one hand the words spoken by your fellow panelist, Monsieur Tligi, but you are stressing that it's not just a matter of knowledge and information, but that it's also a matter of skills and capacity at the local level. So it's almost like it's a double layer kind of phenomenon here. And it takes working on both those levels at the same time. We have a motto here, Karima. Mm-hmm. And anybody else on the panel? I look left, I look right. Anybody in the audience?
Well, maybe I would like to ask our
Please go ahead, Jean-Claude.
Colleagues here from Morocco, do you feel that when you hire experts to do a plan for a city, do you feel they're receptive to what you as city officials want them to do, or do they come with their own preconceived ideas of what should be implemented? Are they receptive? Are they willing to listen to you?
Oui, sincèrement, moi j'ai eu l'occasion d'avoir des experts espagnols qui ont venu nous aider à cela pour faire un plan d'aménagement de la petite ville d'Asila. Mais sincèrement, et on y était nous aussi en Espagne, c'était un petit village aussi. Mais la question, ce que j'ai pu remarquer, c'est qu'il ne s'agit pas de la même mentalité, il ne s'agit pas de la même approche. Donc on fait soit c'est, eux ils ne savent pas faire des plans d'aménagement pour la ville d'Asila, comme nous ne le saurons pas pour eux. Et c'est comme ça, il faut, dans un plan d'aménagement, il faut intégrer, il faut avoir présent l'être humain, c'est le centre de tout. Donc, que tu puisses planifier ou faire le concept d'un plan d'aménagement, il faut connaître la mentalité d'un Marocain, il faut connaître comment les coutumes, il faut connaître, c'est-à-dire le social de la population. Merci.
Very importantly so, and I think that point is well taken. I see no hands right now, and this is okay. Larry Brown, make it brief because we jump to the next statement now.
Very brief. I'm sorry to speak again, but just real quick. To me, I've thought about this stuff recently because of Peter and Karima and their sessions, and the sort of elephant in the room, as we say, the thing that's there is the sort of scale of analysis. It seems to me, we had a local, we had a regional, we had a national, and it seems to me, as I think about planning efforts, they're differentially effective depending upon what scale you're working at. And it seems to me the scale makes a big difference, and certainly has in the United States. And hearing people discuss the things we saw here yesterday, it seems that it also makes a very big difference here. Good.
Okay, that's the point well taken. I am going to jump to the next one now, but I'll give you the first opportunity from the audience. Why don't we tackle that one, if I may. Third one goes to Roberta Capello. It's on the questions of whether or not we have territorial administration, so more old school but larger scale. Speaking of scale, or networked governance. What are your thoughts, Roberta?
In Morocco, with the experience in Morocco.
With an eye to the discussion that we had today and the specific situation of Morocco.
Well, I have to say that I was very much impressed by the quality of and the way in which the problems are posed in Morocco vis-à-vis the urban problems. I was really impressed by both the minister and by the mayor of Rabat. I was thinking that they picked up the most important, let's say, elements that we as theoreticians or as scientists think that are the most important levers to have a good urban development. For example, this morning they were speaking about the way in which Casablanca should move or has moved from, or to keep its competitiveness, should move from one function to another. So he has to jump from one function to higher level functions, or leave only the asset of Casablanca was linked to its infrastructure asset. So it was the best infrastructure of the city, and it's now moved to other functions in order to have competitive assets. And this is something that the way in which the territorial administration should think about in terms of territorial development of a city. And then there was also the idea that cities have to link and have to be complementary in what they do and in the way that they link together. So there should be a division of labor at the urban level in order to be complementary and to avoid competition at the level of the functions and to achieve advantages. So again, the idea that urban networks are important, and this is something that came in strongly into the debate in Europe in the 90s, but it's here, and so already here, and they are trying to implement that. What I did not get from all what I heard from our speakers today is a little bit of what the implementation of these, let's say, policies. And I think sometimes, the theory or the ideas, the problems are clearly settled, but then moving to having a territorial administration and, I wouldn't say versus, but and a network governance would be, it's a problem. I didn't understand how the implementation takes place, and this is where failure can come.
Should we ask?
Yes.
One
Yes.
of our
Yes.
participants from Morocco, we have Monsieur El Iraqi jumping for joy. Go ahead. About this question that Roberta is raising now, okay? Because I think it's very important for us to get a better understanding of how this actually plays out in Moroccan cities.
Je pense que si on ramène la question des réseaux urbains, c'est ça, il pose, je pense, un élément central, c'est la gestion des aires métropolitaines. Et à partir de là, au Maroc, je dirais, malheureusement, on n'a pas de structure de gestion des aires métropolitaines, ni à travers des agences, ni à travers une collectivité territoriale. On a uniquement, je dirais, l'autorité locale, le wali, l'équivalent du préfet, qui arrive à, je dirais, à toucher à l'ensemble des aires métropolitaines qu'il a sous son commandement. Alors que, à côté, en termes de collectivité territoriale, on a des communes autour de la ville-centre qui sont des communes qui restent soit urbaines, soit rurales, mais avec très peu de moyens, alors que c'est elles, dans les périphéries notamment, c'est elles qui reçoivent les populations des bidonvilles, c'est elles qui reçoivent de l'habitat informel, c'est elles qui reçoivent, on a même l'industrie informelle, c'est elles qui reçoivent les décharges, etc. Et elles sont incapables de gérer tout ce qu'elles ont, tous les problèmes, justement, que lui rejette la ville-centre dans l'aire métropolitaine. Et là, on a un très grand problème de gouvernance urbaine. Même actuellement, les textes qui sont en discussion, il n'y a pas encore de plébiscite pour aller chercher à ce qu'il y ait qui va gérer les aires métropolitaines, soit en termes de collectivité, soit en termes d'agence de l'aire métropolitaine, comme ce qu'il y a ailleurs. Et on a ce qu'on a appelé actuellement au niveau institutionnel l'intercommunalité. C'est tout ce qu'il y a. C'est-à-dire que les communes, les différentes communes peuvent se mettre en partenariat, enfin, créer un groupement de communes, et à partir de là, si vous voulez, et on peut gérer les transports, on peut gérer les déchets, etc. Mais dans les aires métropolitaines, il n'y a pas, comme ailleurs, en France par exemple, on a ce qu'on peut appeler la carotte. L'intercommunalité vient avec une carotte financière, c'est-à-dire que l'État donne une subvention, pour qu'il y ait ce regroupement. Au Maroc, il n'y a pas ça. On a aussi, je dirais, un élément central lorsqu'on parle d'aires métropolitaines dans leur gestion. Il faut qu'il y ait du charisme. Il faut qu'il y ait, je dirais, une personne qui ait suffisamment de charisme pour mener l'action au niveau d'une aire métropolitaine. Et là, c'est quelque chose dont on n'a pas suffisamment parlé peut-être. Ce sont des élus qui ont le charisme, qui peuvent mener l'action au niveau métropolitain. Ce qui fait qu'actuellement au Maroc, on peut dire qu'au niveau de la planification, c'est vrai que le SOFA est allé très loin, mais dans son application réelle, moi j'ai travaillé ces dernières années sur les périphéries de Casablanca, mais je peux vous dire qu'il n'y a aucune action intégrée et aucun, je dirais, organisme public qui gère l'étalement urbain autour de Casablanca. Les grandes périphéries de Casablanca, les problèmes aussi bien d'eau potable, etc., ne sont pas réglés de façon intégrée. Je m'excuse d'avoir pris du temps.
No, but the picture is clear now. I'm looking at Roberta, if that is so. And I'd like to have a minute also for the person who raised his hand at the previous statement, and maybe you'd like to add to this.
Yeah, go ahead and speak. They'll turn it up as you speak.
Okay. It is as to say, I was involved in the master plan of one in Angola, and in fact there is also there much more there than here, a lack of human resources. But also there seems to be, as a substitute to that, a greater involvement from the provincial government into using command and control. So the only policy tool, urban tool that exists is you have money, you build roads, you do everything by yourself. And so there is no space for even someone goes there to somehow to force the rule that was approved. Well, I think that the power that this person has is very small, because things are changing fast, and the power of command and control and of the government, of the politicians, is much bigger than. And sometimes the technicians, the experts that came, they came with wrong solutions, and there is no correction by the people. So there is a lot of power, a lot of money, and mistakes can be great.
Well, thank you. You've opened up, Karima and Peter, with 4 words, a very big discussion. And I think the state of affairs right now, the motto is that in cases like this, there are many, many conceivable figures of process and procedure, or structures that might be in place. But in fact, here in Morocco, as is the case in many other countries, we see the beginning of this. We don't see the world moving towards the hierarchical structure at a larger scale, but we see attempts taking place to get out of the spaghetti bowl. Is that short enough? Then, with everybody's permission, I'd like to continue this speed dating event to a next statement. It's the one on the question of, well, can we conceive of cities? Can we see cities as islands that are in control of their own destiny. We had one of the speakers favor that in the morning, speaking about the need for cities to be in charge of their own destiny a lot more, while others were talking about the need to be competitive at a global scale, to see the city as sort of a little ecological animal in a large, not necessarily friendly environment. It says on top of this one, audience. That means that we not necessarily start with our panelists to give the first shot here, but maybe one of the audience. Please,
Yeah.
Peter.